Hey everybody, we're out here. It's day 3 out in Colorado. The first day we just gave the horses a break because their legs were tired from hauling. We didn't ride. Yesterday we kind of went on a little tour of the farm on horseback and just a trail ride. But today we're going to get down to some brass tacks. I want to show off what Classy knows, her different gaits, and really show the new owners everything that I've trained into her, because there's a big difference in the way people train horses. From the west to the east to the south, and different disciplines with fox trotters to quarter horses to jumpers. Like, there's all sorts of little quirks in that I could show, and I want to make sure that you know, they know everything that I want them to know for Classy, so that they get along good. And I just want to show her off a little bit. So I'm going to ride her for a little bit and kind of talk about everything she knows and everything that we do and how to get the different gaits out of her. The major difference with fox trotters to everybody else is our definition of collection. Our definition of collection is way different than what quarter horse people consider to be collection, or anybody else. So this is just a flat foot walk. So that is the fox trotter's standard walk. It's called a flat foot walk.
So that's faster than I was walking yesterday.
Yeah, this is the actual walk. So when I trail ride, that's the speed I go the whole time, generally.
Okay.
And then faster when I want to go faster.
Right.
And like right now, I've got pressure on her left side since we're bending left, but I'm also neck reining. Okay, so since we're going left, I've got my reins like this crossed in my hands. I've got pressure on the left side, but then I am also giving her a little bit of a neck rein. See that?
So you're pushing down your left leg.
I'm taking my left leg off of her side, and I'm pushing in with my right calf just a little bit. So when I do want to dog walk, a lot of times I'll just rest my hand on her neck like that, and it kind of keeps her calm, you know, or just like what we're talking about, like a slow walk, like when you're riding in a group. Kind of try to let her know that I'm not asking anything of her much, and then she shouldn't, that way she won't be gaiting. But when I'm gaiting, I'll have more collection. You know, I'll have a hold of her a little bit tighter. Not tight, but just, you know, have it to where I can have a hold of her mouth at any time that I need a hold of her mouth, so that I can control the collection and the gaits on her. So see what I mean by collection? Like, I call it holding her hand. Ooh. There's really not a lot of pressure on that. Yeah, there's not really a lot of pressure on that bit, but it's collected. I have a holder, I have contact with her mouth where I can make an adjustment. Now when I'm dog walking, so going down a trail, I might be about like this, and I lower my hands quite a bit. And sometimes I even touch her here to kind of let her know that we're going slow. She's gonna neck rein a little bit with help on a gradual turn, kind of where she knows what you're wanting. But when you go sharp, you know, you'll start your gradual turn, and then you'll just tilt that nose in. So like, see how I can get her to flex and touch my leg? She's touching my leg right now. She gave good, so then I'll release, and I kind of pet her. And then I can get her to touch this leg. Okay? So that feel that you learn in your hand doing this.
But you do everything gently.
Yeah.
You're not yanking.
Yeah, no, you're not pulling her head around, you're just asking, and she gives, and then you release. But what I'm saying is, like, you'll be going, and say you want to turn real sharp like I did there, you'll start a regular turn, but then you'll do that, and she'll follow her nose, you know?
Okay.
You know, so that's kind of how you get those gradual turns. And I'll see, in a spot like this, she's, especially with the up and down differences, and we're in a tight circle, she's wanting to trot, but I'll see if I can get her to run walk now and show you the difference between a walk and a run walk. It's just faster, really, all of this.
Okay. You don't have pressure on her reins there though.
It's not so much pressure, but like at any second, you know how when you're training dogs, you've trained a lot of boxers, right? You check them when they're about to do something about it. You check that rein or that leash. I can check her mouth anytime she's about to break into that trot. So if you're listening to the rhythm, it was a little bit different than the flat foot walk. It was a little bit more extended.
I need to listen to that again. I never really. Right.
So I'll come by at the flat foot walk and listen to the rhythm, and then I'll change it.
Okay. So that's flat foot.
And now I'll try to speed her up a little. It's just a bit faster and speed, but the chug, I call them chugs, like chug, 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 is a little bit longer extended. Like you hear the rhythm of it get a little bit bigger. As she gets more tired and she's not working in a circle, like she's looking down a path or a road and wanting to cover some ground herself, she'll run walk better and better and better and better and get the freshness out of her. Right now she's just wanting to trot and go and charge,
Right.
you know.
I see that,
And I'm keeping her from it. But her trot's not bad either. I'll go ahead and let her trot a lap or two. So that's the trot.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's the fox trot. Yeah, not downhill, it's not really the fox trot. That's the fox trot. Which is not bad at all. It's really a fun gait.
Yeah.
It's got some rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like
It's actually a lot smoother than other horses.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
But the run walk is even more smooth.
Very graceful, isn't it?
No, she's very graceful.
Yeah.
And then when I want, I just say, canter, canter. Oh, she has a nice little canter. Back up. Back up.
And do you put her into that groove? You kind of get her into it the way you start moving.
Yeah, I say canter first, and then I just go like that.
You lope a wee bit.
And I try to do it in time with her walk. And I'm not a real great canterer because I weigh so much, so I don't ever canter very much.
No.
But you're 100 pounds lighter than me.
Yeah.
You can get into a groove cantering her, and she could go.
Right. I get
Her thing is she wants to run when you ask to canter, so you need to take her into it calmly, and then talk to her calm while she's
and
doing
what's a run? What's your definition?
a gallop.
A gallop. Okay.
Which is the same footfall as a canter. It's just she's wanting to drive
Just quicker.
on. Yeah, she's wanting to drive on instead of. I want her to canter slower than she run walks.
Wow.
Is what I want.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm going for it. Really, what I would be happy with today is if we could just protect the flat foot walk. Right there. That's our bread and butter. This is what makes the fox trotter the best trail horse in the world. This is the flat foot walk. Right there, so comfortable, and you're covering so much ground. And it's so rhythmic, and it's sure-footed.
It's a very comfortable sound.
It is. You can hear that rhythm.
Yeah, you get into it. You just kind of like.
Yeah, it's a four beat gait. So if you're not hearing four distinctive beats, you're falling into a pace.
Right.
You know, and that right there is like, you get to get a flat foot walk going like that in your trail rides. Will go from like, oh, I don't know if we can ride this whole 1,000 acres out to you're riding 14, 15 mile trail rides in the same time that you were riding 4 mile trail rides before, and your body feels better afterwards.
Right.
For the mounting block. So say I was going to use this rock here, I would bring her up about like this, get up on it, and then you start asking. She knows what I'm talking about. Smart horse. Thank you.
That's without a cue. Wow.
Classy.
But also, you don't want her doing that without asking. So that's good that she's thinking ahead and she's smart, but then she's going to start invading your space doing that trick. So then you also equally need to work on this trick, being able to move
Moving
her
her
back
way.
over like that. Okay.
Okay.
So here, you take her and I'll get you the real mounting block out.
So now
Put your right hand up about shoulder high, like this. And that's how I ask, and say step up.
step up. Step up. Step up.
Okay. So what she's gonna need to do to be perfect for you, well, first off, she needs to like literally she needs to go forward a little, which got her just about right.
So I should have done that on the ground.
Well, you brought her up to this corner. I'd have brought her up over here,
Okay. And
which
then,
is fine.
And then do this.
Yeah, but her butt wasn't close enough. Now she's in the perfect position. So you can let's just get down and reset and try it over. So good girl, good girl.
Good girl.
So come out and leave her out further away from the block this time, so she actually has to come to you. Bring her, turn this way, and then stop her like right here. We'll stop her right here. Okay. Now go ahead and climb up on the block. Oh. Now put your right hand up and ask her. Step up.
Step up.
Yeah, her butt needs to be, yep. Perfect. Yeah, one more step with the back end so you get the feel of it.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up. Step up.
Right there. Ooh,
Good
girl.
girl.
Right there.
Good girl.
Okay, all I want to see is the flat foot walk. So just start doing circles, and we'll work on everything.
Walk.
Okay, go to the left first. Okay, go pretty wide, and when you go uphill, start going a little faster. There you go. Okay, check her a little. That's too fast. Okay, right there. Okay, that's a little too fast. Get a hold of her a little more. That's a little too slow. Get her right in between those two and hold her hand like I was saying. There. A little slower. There. That's a trot. A little slower. Okay, I see one thing that'll help a little bit. So remember the doorway comment thing? So this is a door right here, this leg. So if you just about that much open it up, or like you can just turn it like that, that opens that door just a little bit.
Right, and that'll make a turn.
And that'll help the turn. You're turning with this, that just helps her feel right about it. And same thing with this door. You can just close right here.
Okay.
Just a little bit, not enough to
Right.
make yourself uncomfortable.
Right.
Just, I mean, it can be microscopic, like that
Yeah.
much pressure.
Right.
And then that much pressure off of it on that side. Point that toe to the left just a little bit.
Good girl.
And then you're steering correctly with the left side, but then you can just lay this on her neck just a little bit, like a neck rein, to help too.
Right, I'm
So-
finding it's a wee bit like flying a helicopter right now. You know, I'm trying to do several things at once, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and
It's
not to
way
mention she's
different.
wanting to trot on you, and you're trying to keep her to walk, and you're trying to steer, and you're trying to, and you're on camera. It's just like 1,700 things at
Help.
once.
I need beer.
All right, try again. And push with that right leg and go. There you go. Right there. No faster. Right there's good. Perfect. Stop for a second and just pet her because you had a perfect little walk for a second. And what the difference was in our hands, something got before that spot, something you were doing got her tucking her head, her chin away from your hands. She didn't like your hands. So she was tucking her chin. Which when
I think I was putting too much tension on maybe.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. So when she's tucking her chin like that, she
doing
gets
something
uncoordinated and she stubs her toe and trips.
Right.
That's what those trips were from. She had
Right.
her chin too tucked. But right there, you got everything set right for a second, and she brought her head up to a more reasonable spot, and she gaited well and sure-footed. And whenever a horse does anything right, for a little bit, I stop them.
Okay.
As a form of reward.
They're clever.
And yeah, and that's why I stopped you, was to kind of show her like, hey, if you work with Charlie, you get a break. You work right with Charlie, you get a break. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like, for example, the psychology on that little fat mare, she's lazy. And when I was training her to show, I'd ask for like 110%. I'd be asking. And as soon as she'd give me 100%, when I was asking for 110%, I don't care where I was, I'd get off and walk home.
Right.
You know, if I was going down the road, down the driveway, or if I'm in the circle in the barn.
So they're learning.
She would get to this spot where she'd start grunting on every stride. She'd go, and as soon as she'd start grunting, I'd get off and be like, yep, you're done. And before long, you get on that horse and she'd start, and that little bitty 14-hand horse would be reaching 6 feet. And
starts grunting before you got the saddle on.
yeah, and grunting and and people would comment in the crowd like, that horse was grunting with each stride as she went by. How do you get her to do that? And I'm like, I took advantage of her laziness.
Right.
Well, she ain't lazy. She's giving you all she's got. She's doing that to make me get off of her.
She knows. She knows. That.
Yeah, and that psychology is part of how I train. You know, like reinforcing their laziness by making them work hard.
Right.
You know, or work right in this case. She did a couple good steps. Yeah, she's tucking her head again. So, one thing we can try when she tucks her nose to get away from you, you can change the position of your hands. So you can go from there to like there for a second,
Okay.
and ask her to go back out, and then you know, like reinforce that going back out by releasing a little pressure or something.
Okay.
But
so I think I'm feeling like I'm
yeah
pulling too tight on it.
Or you're lifting instead of pulling or
Right.
something.
Right.
Like you gotta have to get her to take a hold as well as you're taking a hold. You know
right,
what I mean?
because I'm trying to get her to flow, but I'm pulling her
Yeah,
back.
that's why I was saying it's that analogy of holding her hand. She has to do her part.
Right.
She has to hold the bit, and you have to hold the reins.
Right.
And right when she's tucking her chin away from you, she's not liking your part, so she's not doing her part. So to get away from the bit, instead of holding it, she's tucking.
So I get
Yeah,
that.
and there's ways to fix that we'll
Okay.
work on. All right, we had our lesson this morning, and then we went on a short trail ride, and we got along famously. Everything's going well. We came down the road just a little ways. Our cabin is that way, I believe, up in the hills. And we're gonna cross under this highway and run the cows off. And then we're gonna go for a trail ride up into these hills. It's gonna be very nice. I don't know if I've ever taken my horse through a tunnel before. Actually, I have taken her through some things that had overhead at an obstacle course before. Oh, that's slick. Gotta run the cows off.
Get, Carl, get. Yeah. Get. 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 Get.
Are we going to this left path or that way?
That way, aye.
Okay. Wow, look at that cliff.
Well, you're in for a treat as we go in here.
Yeah. There's a path across.
That's it. Here.
Okay. Now don't let her jump this time. Steer her to the right a little. Check her mouth and yeah, there you go. Say walk. Good job. Gather up your reins so you don't have to bring your hand that far out to get a hold of her. You need to have it just before the so that you can have contact whenever you need it. And then make sure you're not putting those reins together. Keep them overlapped like we talked about so that you can have distinct control of each side of her mouth. Beautiful creek. So try to work on the flat foot walk, not the trot. Check her up a little. She's trotting. There you go. Walk. She's starting to trot again. Keep her from trotting. She can walk that fast. If you want to go that fast, she can walk that fast without trotting. But just gather her up a little or raise your hands a little higher maybe when she trots. And when she's walking good again, you can lower them back down to where you're comfortable. She's still trotting a little. There you go. Doesn't take long on these suckers to cover some miles, does it?
No, it doesn't. This is the fourth crossing and the cabin's just up on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Is that alright?
Yeah. That's about the same size as my creek on my farm. This is a little more flow, but when it rains, or if it's not been a drought, mine flows about like this.
There's fish in here, look.
Oh, that's a good size fish. Wow. Those are like eating size. Or is that a trout?
Yeah.
Naturally reproducing, I assume.
Yeah.
Awesome. I hope my camera picked that up. Yeah, that's a beautiful cabin.
Let you go first. because there's some nasty scrub there.
Yeah.
And you're probably better at doing it than me.
Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Oh, I don't have this horse trained to back up yet.
Back up.
What?
Back up. Back up. Back up.
There we go. Now we can come to this right side of it and get around it. She handled that pretty well.
Between the two of us, we figured it out.
Yeah. She wants to go the upper route, but that's a lot more dangerous. Good job, Charlie. That was a little scarier than it looks right there.
Right. You said you wanted to ride some northern trail.
Yeah. I see a bunch of cows ahead. Yeah. She ain't sure about them cows, man. You're all right. Hip, cows.
Get. Come on, cattle, get. Get, cattle, get.
Look, they move out of your way. You're fine. Good girl. Yeah, she'll make you a good cow horse. When your bison get out, you can go herd them up with her. These Ponderosa pines sure are pretty. They're much bigger than they look like from up on the bluff.
And some of them get really huge, not here, but elsewhere.
Well, I guess these are probably big because they have the creek water.
Yeah, but they're not huge.
Yeah.
They're not called big Ponderosa.
Yeah.
They're big by most standards. There's an old dike over there. Look, that's man-made. Just over it.
Right, right.
On the top there.
Yeah.
Because there's a path goes back there.
Yeah, I bet you there's a way right there in that draw to get up to the top to your to that hayfield if you ended up buying it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think this, there used to be a stagecoach trail all the way up to Westcliff from Pueblo up through here.
Oh, no kidding.
That cabin that we parked the truck at is called the Ranger cabin, and it used to be another mile further up this canyon.
I'll
We
be.
moved it out from there and that barn down to there in 1949.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's got to be mountain lions living in here.
You see them all the time here.
Do you have a problem losing a lot of your calves?
No, there is. It does happen, but it's not.
Well, there's so many mule deer. It's like, why would a mountain lion mess with a human's cows when there's this many mule deer?
Exactly. You can see the trail there on the other side of the creek.
Yeah. You think before that washed out, that was the stagecoach line?
Probably,
Yeah.
If you've watched the first video about our trip to Colorado and you remember seeing the big canyon that was behind the house that we're staying at, if you haven't figured out yet, this is the valley floor of that canyon. So just up to the left is where we are staying during our vacation and the trip here with Classy.
Wow, Classy did really well on that. My horse did not.
You know where we are now, right?
About. Yeah.
This is where we were earlier, the gates up there.
Yeah.
Am I good or what?
Good job. How come you didn't find that earlier on the way down?
Would you have seen it? I knew it was there.
Yep.
It was a gnarly bit of rocky trail though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That'll be some good footage. I had my camera on watching Classy's footfalls. She did excellent on it.
That little climb out of the valley didn't look like much, but I swear it was a lot more technical than it looks on film. Charlie was very pleased with how Classy handled it, and we ended up dubbing that trail Charlie's Staircase. That trail ride went really well. It really was the day that Charlie and Classy started to click and turn the corner to where she started to become his horse instead of mine. He was very pleased with her, as was Joan, and after that, we just really had to start working on the control of the individual gaits. Here, I'm trying to get him to see how she can run walk instead of trot. She likes to trot, it's easier for her, but you kind of have to have a good feel for her mouth. But they're really starting to get along good, and I hope you guys learned something about the gaits of the Missouri Fox Trotter as well while watching this video. They really are the best trail riding horse in the world.